Our next speaker is Michaelie from the Wentworth Group of Concerned Scientists. Michaelie is the Healthy Landscapes Project Lead, and she'll be talking about the key priorities that the New South Wales Government needs to act on to meet its commitment to strengthen environmental protections and stop excessive land clearing. Michaelie works at the interface of environmental scientists and science and policy. She's an expert in New South Wales land sector policy and worked to develop the Wentworth Group's blueprint for healthy country and thriving regions. Thanks, Michaelie. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Brad, and hello, everyone. So I guess I just wanted to emphasize that the opportunity for reforms that we currently have in New South Wales, it only comes about once a decade. So yes, as Brad said, how can we make the most of this, and how can the government best fulfill their election commitment to end excess land clearing and strengthen environmental protections? We've been talking a lot about land clearing and INS here, and I want to talk about how tackling these issues will require a holistic approach. So the solution, my slide is just the one before this, I believe, that, the solution is multi-pronged, and it has to involve a long-term vision for change that bridges the common divide that we have between agricultural and environmental sectors. So we want to see reforms that are designed to endure beyond election cycles. The reforms need to protect our most precious biodiversity, restore degraded lands, and restore degraded landscapes. At the same time, we think that they can and should support agricultural outcomes and support regional communities. As you can see on the screen here, you can read about the Wentworth Group vision for successful reform package, which is in this blueprint for a healthy country and thriving regions. And I would encourage anyone interested in the detail to read into it, but we've only got a short time, so I'll just highlight a few points pertinent to today's discussion. Next slide, please. So more than 70% of New South Wales is managed by private landholders, and so they have the central role in taking care of most of New South Wales land and nature that occurs there. And so it means that effective reforms are those that work directly with local land managers and regional communities and Aboriginal nations, understanding the regional specific issues affecting them, such as for pests and weeds, and provide the support that is asked for. By working alongside them, government can design effective reforms that encourage people to value, protect, and restore nature by choice. So there needs to be a combination of top-down state priorities as well as bottom-up design to ensure that these best outcomes for the landscape and that the central agents of change, the farmers, are not put offside in the process. Next slide, please. So from my fellow panelists' discussions, we can see that it's clear that high biodiversity value in New South Wales is not being sufficiently protected. So there still needs to be stronger protections for natural and cultural values that we decide as a state and as regions need to be better looked after and protected. So these need to be supported by properly resourced mapping so that we know where these values occur in their landscape. And the good news is that there are existing mechanisms in the Biodiversity Conservation Act that could be improved upon to provide this protection. Next slide, please. So in terms of land clearing codes, the system is intended for the clearing that occurs under these codes to be low risk clearing. And currently, that's not the case, as we've seen in David and Candace's presentations. Threatened ecological communities can be cleared, and these large areas have been cleared. So there's several changes that are needed to ensure the codes are genuinely only low-risk clearing. There's issues such as the quasi-offset set-asides and self-assessment, over-reliant on self-assessment that needs to be addressed. But removing the INS codes will reduce environmental risk, especially if it's done in conjunction with these other measures. And we're not talking about flat out banning any clearing that would have occurred under this authorization. As I said, it's about removing the higher risk types of clearing and ensuring that it's only low risk clearing. Lower risk clearing will be able to occur under other codes and other allowable activities, so other rules. Next slide, please. So there also needs to be a substantial investment in funding programs that support landholders in a variety of ways to undertake nature stewardship on their properties. So this can build upon existing programs that we have, but it needs to be expanded to include flexible options like short-term entry-level conservation agreements, training, and other options that farmers identify as useful. So it's as part of the regional design process that can be designing this funding package of what will be useful for farmers. And the funding priorities should be aligned with the priorities for conservation and restoration so that where clearing risks impact on valuable biodiversity, useful stewardship options will be available for landholders as an alternative to choose. Next slide, please. So the local land service should have its remit and funding expanded to play an even stronger role in providing landholders with support to navigate land management options on their property and also the complex regulations. So they need to support landholders with ecological expertise and options to protect nature. Next slide. So just wanted to say the government has responded to reviews of the relevant acts with their plan for nature, which has committed to a series of actions to set nature on a path to recovery. So they've made a series of positive commitments, but very little has been set in stone at this stage. And time is running out. We've got the March 2027 election for New South Wales. So we really want to see this opportunity not being missed and making the most of it.